Shalom,
Shalom.
shalom. Coming through, you already know I'm like an atomic bomb.
No, we
Boom.
gotta do that.
Coming
again.
on your head, already know, cause you heard what I said. This beat is dead, this ain't a beat, but my lyrics are trash. I don't care, cause I'm on your like grass.
Welcome back. We are reporting live from Micah Sutter's YouTube channel.
Oh, hello.
Today we have a guest. His name is, can you introduce yourself?
Dre Israel.
His name is True Brotherhood, also known as DeAndre Israel Sutter. And today we're gonna be doing an interview. So I'm just gonna ask you some questions. Today's interview is gonna be about when you went to Israel. We gotta make sure you're also looking at the camera as well, not just me, because we're talking to them.
Okay.
So you just take turns looking back and forth. But I'm gonna be asking you about your trip to Israel. You don't have to keep doing it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just every now and then.
Okay, every now and then.
You can look at me. But your trip to Israel, how your experience was, and just a little bit more detailed questions. Okay. So how was your experience? Like overall, what would you describe your trip as? The first, because you did go twice, right? You went.
Yes.
You went twice this year. Okay, and you went for.
I went for Passover. Also went for Feast of First Fruits.
And unleavened bread, correct?
Well,
Passover,
yes.
Feast
Well,
of unleavened bread.
yes, Feast of Unleavened Bread, as the scripture says.
Okay, and so with both trips, how was your overall experience?
Overall, my experience was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Each time, I think the Father revealed something to me.
Okay, what made you decide to go in the first place?
So what made me decide to go in the first place is that coming into the knowledge of the Lord, He says that we got to keep His commandments. And I heard a commandment, says go to Israel 3 times a year. That's what I did.
Is there anything you would like to tell other people about making this pilgrimage?
If you strive to keep the commandments, there's that's our instruction. And so you got doctrines out here, beliefs that one shouldn't go, one shouldn't do this, and one shouldn't do that. But simply follow the Torah. Simply follow what the commandments say, and you see it. You can't go around it. If the commandments say something of it, making these trips 3 times in a year, who could say something against it?
Right.
To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to His words, because there's no light in them.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Another question would be, who arrived in Israel? Were you with? Yeah, go ahead and block that out. No. Were you amongst other Israelites, or were you by yourself, or did you go with the tour group, or how did you go about this trip?
I just had to smell you. You smell a little good.
A little good. The reason why this thing is doing this, because you don't need to be doing this. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, were you alone in this travel, or were you with other people when you were there?
So I was with all those who was seeking the Father's face. There's a place that we're supposed to seek the Father's face, and that's in Jerusalem. And I wasn't alone.
You weren't alone?
I wasn't alone. I actually knew. I really only knew really one brother. Like really only just knew one brother before I went, and I went. Tried to get in contact with that brother. Actually, when I landed in Israel, that brother wasn't even there. And I was there, with my family right now. You're an interview person, so forgive me for my actions.
Atara.
Oh, Miss Atara. Yes, ma'am. Nice to. Okay. I wasn't alone.
I believe I heard you say you brought your family with you.
Yes, I did bring my family.
Okay. So you, how many is in your household?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in my household. Plus me, 5.
Okay. So a family of 5 travels all the way to Israel. How was that trip?
How was that trip? Trip was kind of stressful.
Oh yeah. What would you say made it a little stressful?
So it was a beautiful and wonderful time. But me being there, it got stressful at times because my family needed me sometimes, but also brothers needed me. My baby's crying, and it's, you know, trying to comfort my baby. I can't do anything. My baby wants milk from his mother. Overall, the experience was wonderful. Like, we want to continue to go. But life.
I bet it was a beautiful experience for your children to be able be in the land and be able to get a little glimpse of, you know, their heritage. Even though I understand your children are younger, you know, today's day and age, we have videos and pictures and stuff like that they can look back and reflect on.
What's your name?
I told you.
Atara? Yeah, okay.
Why'd you ask me that?
Because my wife's name is Atara.
That's interesting.
My wife looks just like you.
It's a little weird.
No, it's not weird. It's perfect.
Next question. Do not play with me.
Seek the Father's face. Seek to do the commandments. Seek after righteousness and you shall be filled. Right? So, long story short, we have a righteousness of the law and we have the righteousness which is by faith. In all things, there's a balance. The scripture says a false balance is an abomination unto the Father. So we have this faith and we have this righteousness of the law. We put it together, you know, and we can come, if anything, complete. Come into the knowledge and the truth of the Father. So go ahead.
And while you were in Israel, I believe you said you did the Passover. You did the Passover?
Yes.
Okay, and did you guys actually kill a lamb?
Kill the lamb.
Do the blood over the doorpost?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And what exactly is the meaning of killing the lamb?
So this is just covering from that death angel. You read in Exodus, and you see that all those that didn't have, you know, the covering of the blood, the death angel was gonna come in and kill their firstborn. Born. Born.
So it's kind of just a memorial practice, just to be reminded of how the Father. Make sure to seek Zion.
My home.
Make sure to seek Zion.
My home.
Make sure to seek Zion.
Shalom, sis. All right.
No, I'm just playing. Shalom.
So, what is your name?
My name is Micah, also known as Atara.
Okay.
Or Atara. You like I said that, huh?
I just like how you look. Why did you go to Israel?
I went to Israel because for the feast of unleavened bread and for Passover, and also because my husband really wanted to go and was going through some scriptures about the males appearing, and we had the finances for the whole family to go, and I thought that would just be a good experience. And of course, you know, you want to spend the feast with your significant other. So yeah, we just went to Israel. That's the reason why I went.
How was your experience there?
While we were there?
Yes.
My experience, it was overwhelming, but it was also like overwhelming with joy and you know, a little bit of, I don't want to say sorrow, but there was some times that I did feel kind of low, just because of like circumstances and stuff, but it was really humbling, you know, beautiful, and I would love to go back. I actually cannot wait to go back, even though, you know, there was some rocky bumps in the road, but overall, like, I really enjoyed it.
What is the true purpose of going? I know this is something that you want to do, this is a place that you want to go, but why should, you know, one actually go to Israel?
To seek the Father's face, I would say.
Hallelujah. How was it with the children out there?
So at the time, I have 2 babies, and I have my daughter, which of course she's easy to deal with because she's older, and she was just playing with the kids and stuff like that, and I think she really enjoyed herself. But with the babies, I had a teething baby so they both wanted my attention. And we were just outside a lot, you know, climbing mountains, you know, walking up different places, doing different things. So at times it was a little stressful, but like I said before, or I think my husband had mentioned, like, I'm glad that my children was able to go. And I know next time we go, how to be more prepared, because, you know, the first time that we went, it was like, I kept telling my husband, like, you know, ask brothers for the women that are out there, so I can, like, you know, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring a stroller, you know, there's just gonna be different things that I'm gonna be able to do that's gonna help me be more prepared and able to, you know, make sure my kids are good and everybody's, you know, comfortable. I keep saying comfortable, but I don't feel like that's the exact word that I need, but, you know, just make sure everybody's okay and content, and not really, you know, having to go through things, you know, or be uncomfortable, you know.
How do you think it was for our, you know, foremothers back in the days?
So yeah, I was also thinking about that too. Like, you know, of course they didn't have like the stuff we have nowadays, and to be like, I guess, lavish or like more, I don't know, but I feel like, yeah, more comfortable. But I feel like no matter what, our foremothers, we are our foremothers, and I cannot stress this enough. Like you say, there's nothing new under the sun. So just because we have more technology does not mean that our foremothers were not doing what they needed to do to make sure they babies and husbands and everybody was straight. They were doing everything they could. I just feel like the Most High gave us the wisdom to, you know, make what we need, just like we make houses, we make everything that we have, because he gave us the wisdom. So just because, like I said, we have more technology now doesn't mean that they weren't doing it then.
How was the love out there with the sisters?
You know, there actually wasn't a lot of sisters that I like got to spend a lot of personal time with, but there was a few sisters that I did, and I would say that the love is genuine, and that no matter what the different, like, you know, what's the word, like, I don't want to say beliefs,
Doctrines.
yeah, like, you know, everybody believes. I feel like everybody that came out there came from different places and different teachings and stuff like that, so we all there for the same reason, but we have different, like, upbringings and stuff like that, and what we know. And so, like, some of the things that one sister might believe, I believe differently, but no matter what, we didn't let that, you know, stand in the way of the sisterhood. Like, we still sisters, even though we may have a different outlook on things. But I will say that it was good to be able to discuss what we believe in and not have any strife or anything like that, where we were still able to like, you know, be joined together as like a family, you know what I'm saying? So it was, I'm ready to meet my sisters again, see my sisters again. I'm really hoping that I can go for Tabernacles, and I just want to go.
Hallelujah. What did you receive when you went? Do you believe that you received anything when you went?
I think that I learned that I need to be more patient. I learned that I have to be more grateful, you know, for the things that I have in my life. And it makes you think about, like, what's really important in your life, you know, like, what's really important. Also, like, how serious it is. Like, it's basic things, but it's just like a reawakening for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I could say, like, I know the Father is always watching, or I know this, or I know that, but when you, like, there, you, like, really feel it, like, okay, he's really watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really, like, paying attention. He's really, like, we're really gonna be accounted for everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I believe in him, and yeah, he's real, and, you know, people say a lot of things, but I don't know, I just feel like you kind of get, like, you start visualizing things a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's because you're on the actual land that, you know, they were walking and stuff like that. So you're like, dang, this is real. Like, he was here, or you know what I'm saying? Like the Messiah, or, you know what I'm saying? Like different things like that. But yeah. I just learned, I think to summarize it, I just learned, you know, meekness, humbleness, patience, love. I'll say all the fruit of the Spirit, honestly, just to practice them more. Yeah.
If one should come up to Zion, how do you think they should carry themselves? Like, what spirit they should be in?
I mean, you should always be in this spirit no matter where you at. But I feel like if you come into, you know, his holy land, that you shouldn't want to come to somebody. You don't want to go to somebody's house and be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the Father's house, so he gonna be paying attention to what you doing in his house. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, no matter where you at, you want to, you know, be a certain way. But I feel like just love, like regardless, like I said, it's different people from camps or non-camps or just different beliefs of everything, but we know we all Israel, we all in the land to do the same thing, to keep the feast. So we can't let the little things get in the way of like the important things. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
What is your message to the sisters out there, as far as going to Israel and as far as the spirit?
So as far as going to Israel, I would say, of course, you know, y'all gotta go with y'all husbands or y'all heads and stuff like that. But if you can, you know, encourage your husband, like, or, you know, just consider talking to him about going out there, because it's really a truly humbling experience. And I feel like you should definitely encourage your husband to go. And we understand, because, you know, we've been there, you know, finances and stuff like that. It kind of seems impossible sometimes to do big things like that, but we know that the Most High, he can do anything, you know, like literally anything. So if you just have faith in him and you sincerely like desire it and you ask him for these things, that he will do it. Like, just cry out to him and believe that he's gonna do it, because he will. And don't have any bit of doubt. Even like, you might have $0 in your bank account, you know what I'm saying, and then you need to be there for this feast in like 2 months. Like, the Father will make a way if it's his will that you be there. You know what I'm saying?
Hallelujah.
He will. And so I'll just say, and also for the women that do, you know, go with their husbands, we gotta, from my personal experiences, we have to really be joined together as sisters, because the men are gonna be out doing what men do. They're gonna be out handling business and stuff like that. And so we really gotta depend on each other, you know, to bring up the children, to make sure everybody getting fed, to make sure everything's in order, because it say the women are keepers at home. So we gotta keep, even if we in Israel, like, that's our home. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta make sure that we taking care of each other, helping each other out with the children, loving each other. We ain't got time for no arguing and gossiping and stuff like that. Like, we not there to do none of that stuff. And be supportive of your husband, you know, and hopefully your husband is gonna be supportive of you too. But just be humble, and if you ever feeling like you can't do it, you can, because our strength comes from the Father. So yeah, just stay strong, because he made us strong.
Hallelujah. Peace.